Hello you all and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to be doing another client makeup tutorial. So here I have my client. She is a faithful client of mine. So I was doing her makeup for an event she had at the Capitol here in Washington, D.C. So she was going to it was like a black tie event. So her dress was green. So you guys are going to see the eye look that we come up with. And first, starting off, we're going to be doing the brows. So I'm going to be lining her brows up. I'm not going to be talking too much about the products that I'm using. I'm just going to be, letting you know what I'm doing. So I'm lining the brows. I like to do the eyebrows first or the eyes first, just because to me, it just helped me to get a better look of the face. And then also to doing the brows first, on drier skin without any foundation under the skin or any type of slip. I like to make sure I'm doing brows where there's no slip. Okay, I feel like if you have foundation on already and you're going to do the brows, there's some slip there, and I'm a perfectionist when it comes to makeup. So, I don't want all of that. I don't want no problems. So as you can see, I'm just lining out the brows and I'm filling them in with hair-like strokes. I know it may look like I'm pressing down hard, or even may look like I'm overfilling them, but I'm not. I'm literally just lining them. As you can see, her brows are naturally full, to be honest. I'm just adding some length to the brows, and then I'm also just filling in any sparse areas. So you guys see how when I line her brows, I kind of brought that line a little bit further out towards her nose. Not that it's going to stay there, but you should do brows making sure that, the brows are long, because what you don't want to do is have a shortened brow when you don't have to. I'm not saying make the brows really long like some other people do and real long and just overly drawn. No, but just make sure your brow go from one end to the next. So again, we're just filling that in, and I like to use a brow pencil when it comes to brows. I go back and forth sometimes with a pencil. My speaker is about to die, so if it goes blank, sorry. I'm going in with a brown eyeshadow, placing this in her crease. I'm just going to be blending this out to my liking. I like to just go back and forth in that brown, and I just deepen it up as much as possible. So with this look, I was kind of, super spontaneous. I didn't exactly know exactly what I was going to do, even though she told me her dress was green. I was like, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Because sometimes I don't always know, at first. But I just was like, okay, let's darken the crease because I might do a cut crease. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to darken this crease because I wanted to give the eyes some dimension and some contrast. So we darkened the crease. I just used a deeper brown color. Actually, this was supposed to be like a dark green. It was almost like a dark brown black. So I was a little afraid at first. I was like, oh my goodness, this is too dark. But it all worked out in the end. I just began to blend it out. Blending is key when it comes to eyeshadows. This is also not a step you want to rush, okay? So as you guys can see, the gradient effect in the eyeshadow, I just blend back and forth and back and forth, back and forth. So it's going to get a little darker with this dark shade that I did use as well. And you guys see that as I'm adding the eyeshadow, I'm going more further down. I'm not taking the eyeshadow up each time I add a new shade, okay? I just go down. That's how you're supposed to do it. I like to start from the top up. I like to start from the top and then bring it down. Some people like to start from the bottom and then bring it up. I do not do that. Now I'm going in with the lid shade, which is beautiful, kind of like a lime / emerald green eyeshadow. It's actually coming up as it looks in person, and it looks so good. I did spray my brush a little bit, and then I just went into the shade. We're going to be packing this on. This is a fluffy eyeshadow brush. It is not a standard eyeshadow brush because I do not want the eyeshadow to be structured. I just want it to be blended out over the lid. That's it. Not too much to it, but to do it, okay? Easy, soft blended eyeshadow. I did not want it to look harsh. I know you guys are like, what do you mean you don't want it to look harsh? I just did not want it to look structured. Like you can just tell I put it here, there. No, that's just put it on, blend it out, but you know, keep it cute. Okay, so that's what we're doing. I am going to go back in. Oh, okay, so I'm going in with some black gel liner. I'm using a very thin angle brush to do this. I'm not going to wing out this eyeliner. I was like, no, we're not going to wing it out. We're just going to place it on, you know, make it a little thicker than normal. I did want her liner to be a little thicker. I didn't want it to be too thin because I wanted her eyeliner to show up. I didn't want it to, like, you know, fade once I put the lashes on. I wanted to give that more smoky, that dark effect without it being too dark, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is how I'm doing it. I'm using a small, really thin angle brush, and it's helping me out so much to do this eyeliner. I was in love with these eyes. I love the way the liner came on. Y'all don't mind how I look. How I look doesn't matter, okay? I'm using that same liner in her waterline. Like I told you guys, I like to put the eyeliner in the waterline. Do not put it under the waterline. Put it in the waterline. It's going to be more flattering on your client. If it falls down a little bit, that's okay, but just don't put it under the waterline. I'm going to be adding some lashes, putting them really, really close to her natural lash line, making sure they are on there. And lashes always look intimidating to your client when you show them the lashes up front instead of just putting them on. Sometimes lashes just look intimidating in the pack. So I don't always show my clients, you know, the lashes beforehand. I just put them on, and when they see, I'll be like, okay, I really hope that they like them. Sometimes I do. If a client is really adamant about a natural look, I will show her the lashes. But other than that, no, I don't show my client the lashes all the time unless they say something. But these lashes look so good on her. I was so happy with the choice that I used because I have so many different ones. Now I am moisturizing her skin. Another reason why I like to do the face second, because sometimes the eyeshadow can fall down on the face. And I'm like, So I did moisturize and prime her skin. I don't know what happened with that. But I'm just using some foundation. I'm blending this out with a beauty sponge because I feel like with the sponge on her skin particularly, it was going to look flawless, seamless. I did not want it to look cakey. She had very nice skin. So me using a foundation brush would have just made it look, it would have been beautiful, but it would have been like too much. And I didn't need that. I know when to use a brush on a client and when not to use a brush on a client. I know when to use a sponge on a client and when not to use a sponge on a client, okay? You have to know. You have to know. That's super important. So now I'm going in with some concealer to highlight underneath her eyes. When a client has green eyes, dark eyes, like dark brown or black, you always want to use a highlighter a little brighter than normal because you really want those eyes to stand out. So I'm just using a concealer that's about 2 to 3 shades lighter than her complexion, but that's okay because we're going to blend it out and it's going to be cute. So we're going to be blending everything out, you know, all in her T-zone area underneath her eyes last because we want that to get tacky and have the most coverage without having to add more, okay? So I'm using a sponge. Make sure your sponge is damp, not too wet because that's going to pick up product. Now, I like to blend the concealer out from the inner corners of the eye, and I like to take it all the way out. As you guys can see, I like to do what I would call a little eye lift, if you will. Blending this out, making sure everything is seamless, like literally seamless. Okay, so now I'm going in with some contour, placing this all on the outer perimeter of her face, or the perimeter of her face. I'm going to be contouring her nose as well. This contour is about 3 shades, maybe 2 to 3 shades darker than her, and it was just a perfect contour. And so I'm going to do this. This is going to help enforce anything I put on top. It's going to help her makeup stay on a lot longer. That's why I like to do cream products on the skin before powder, because to me it helps the makeup stay on way longer. Okay, so let's go ahead and blend this out. I'm using this brush. Girl's brush is a little too soft. That's why I was holding it. Like, why is this brush so soft? Like, I should have been using something a little more denser. Not that dense, but a little denser than this. Nonetheless, it blended out the contour nice and beautifully, seamlessly. Absolutely love that for us. Yes. This makeup, it just looks like it's about to eat. It just looks like it. Like, she is becoming the goddess that she is. Okay. Blending this all the way out everywhere, you guys. Make sure you take your time. Always go back in with your beauty sponge beforehand and just reinforce that concealer. Do what you got to do. But right here, I'm adding my powder. We're going a little quick. Right here, I'm adding the setting powder underneath her eyes. I think this is a pressed powder. I'm not 100% sure. This might be my setting powder. We might just went straight to the setting powder. So I'm just adding this underneath her eyes, setting that concealer down. I'm going to be doing the same thing in her T-zone area, around her mouth, which is where her pores are, forehead, everything. Okay, so now I'm taking a pressed powder and I am setting her face, setting the rest of her makeup, all those areas that are oily. We're going to be setting that down with some face powder, which I call it the finishing powder. So make sure you set all those areas down. You do not want the face to look oily, greasy, none of that. It's okay for the face to look nice and hydrated, but it should not be looking oily, okay? Okay. And mind you, we still have more powders to use. If y'all know, if you know, you know. Okay, now I'm going in with some powder contour, and I'm just putting that on the perimeters of her face. Once again, forehead, cheekbones. We're going to do the nose as well. And I did have her, always have your client move their scarf back, even if it seems like they're a little insecure about it. Hey, move that scarf back, okay? No, ma'am, we're not doing that. Move that scarf back, okay? And just use that bronzer, put it on the forehead, bring it back, not forward. We're going to also do the nose. Use a very light hand when it comes to the nose contour, because it can look harsh so fast. And it's almost hard to fix it, to be honest, because once you put that powder on top of that cream, it really doesn't move, to be honest. So yeah, just take your time. Next, I will be going in with a brighter powder underneath her eyes, because I do want her, her face to be a little brighter in the middle portion. I want this is a glam look. So we want this to be, super glam, but it's not going to be so bright underneath her eyes. And you guys are going to see that towards the end of this video. And yeah, so I'm just notching her nose. And plus, because I be filming, I be like, we're going to fix this. We're not going to have you with powder all over your face. So I like to make sure the powder is in place. Okay. But one thing about me, I'm not afraid to use powder on my clients. I do not want my clients to be oily. Now we're going in with a powder blush. We are going to be blushing up those cheeks. Once again, I'm making sure that you can see it, because we're not coming back to this, okay? She can't come back and add blush. The blush going to have to be there, okay? So don't be afraid to add blush. Once again, if my mic might go out, but it's okay. So yeah, now I'm just setting her face. Like I told you guys, look, I'm not afraid to use powder on my clients. I know how I prep their skin. I know the kind of skin that they got, so I'm going to use it. I'm going to also be doing some tight lining. I'm going to be adding those dark brown shades and all the shades I use in her crease on her bottom lash line, using a very small eyeshadow brush, because once again, I do not want that eyeshadow to be looking raccoonish underneath her eyes, and it can look like that very easily. The key to doing the bottom lash line is you want to always start with the darker shade first, and then you want to go in with your lighter shade. Sometimes I do a reverse if I'm moving too quick, but yeah, that's how you want to do it. We're going to be lining her lips, doing a nude, of course, because that's what I'm known for. I just do the nudes. I'm just a new girl, okay? Doing the nudes, again, take your time on your client's lips, okay? Because we want them lips to stand out. And you want to make sure that when you're lining your client, when you're outlining your client's lips, that you outline their lips according to their lip shape. Don't give them a new shape. Don't overdo it. Don't underdo it. Just do it, okay? Like Nike. So now I'm adding some gloss on top. I did use a cream lipstick, and then I ended up using the gloss on top, keeping it inside the lines. It's just like coloring, okay? Stay in the lines, sis. Stay in the lines. Now we're sweeping away this powder from underneath her eyes. I'm going to be going in with her face powder, and then I'm just going to be sweeping her powder away from underneath her eyes. Don't be scared to do this, y'all. Just do it, okay? Just do it. Always do circular motions, very light-handed, back and forth. Use a small brush. It's going to move that powder out your way seamlessly. Now, if the powder is a little stubborn, get your powder brush, okay, and just begin to do the same thing, but ever so lightly, because you don't want to move the makeup. We're going to spray this down. Make sure you get them under eyes. That's why I didn't put my hand in front of her eyes, because I wanted her under eyes to be hit with that setting spray as well, to give it more of a hydrating look and not looking all dry, because no, made that mistake before. Okay, we almost done. We're going to be adding some highlight underneath them brow bones, a little bit, and it's just a little bit, not too much. On the nose, the high points of her face, adding some mascara. And you guys, we are at the finish line of this makeup tutorial. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope that you all like this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Share this video with someone. Also, to subscribe to my channel and, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload a new video. And I will see you all in my next video. I love you all. Bye. And as y'all can see, the makeup ate. She loved it. I loved it. It was too good. Too good.